Hi everyone, welcome to another Creative Concepts class that I'm going to be doing today. I'm Sharon, I'm the Makerspace librarian here at the Rawlings Library, and today we're just going to do a really quick little craft that is a little pom-pom snowman. I did this because, I don't know about you guys, but when this time of year rolls around, I always forget that sometimes people need like a little present or something like that, you know, something that I can bundle up with like a mug or some hot chocolate packets and give to somebody, something that I made myself that's a little bit special, but you know, maybe not a huge high ticket item. And I always find myself with 3 or 4 people I've forgotten I need to get gifts for, so I thought I'd do a little program here that can show you how to make a little something to give to somebody that you care about. That little handmade touch to add to a mug with some hot cocoa mix or something like that. All right, so we have 2 pom-poms. You could make these pom-poms if you happen to have yarn and some cardboard, but I happen to have some pre-made ones, so that's what we're going to use. I have some cardstock. This cardstock's actually pretty fancy. It's glittery, but black cardstock would work too. So I've drawn the templates for my hat on the back side of this cardstock, but we're going to use the front side as the part of the hat people can see for the snowman. I have some orange cardstock there too. I have these 2 little dots that I'm going to use as eyes. These are sticky, but you could use seed beads, you could use big beads, you could use buttons, you could even just draw them on with a Sharpie or some paint if you cared to. I have some buttons, and those are obviously the snowman's buttons. I feel like that one's pretty self-explanatory. I have this piece of ribbon. You could use chunky yarn or even a pipe cleaner for the snowman scarf. And I have some embroidery floss and a needle, and this is actually, if I can get my act together, what we're going to use to hang and suspend the snowman so it could actually be an ornament if you so chose. We don't need the pencil, I've already used it. And of course we have my trusty hot glue gun, so hopefully I don't burn myself per usual. So I think what we'll start doing is by assembling the hat. We'll put all these guys kind of to the side for now so that they're not in my way. So when I did this, I'll show you a little bit here. I did a small circle, which ended up I think being the bottom of a pill bottle, and a larger circle, which ended up being, I think, the bottom of my needle felting needle case. It can be really kind of any size of circles that you want to, but I chose these 2 circles looking around at the things that I had that were round because I thought they would fit nicely on top of my snowman's head. And then very faintly down here at the bottom, I have a line across. That's 1 inch. And I also have it here because I think it's going to take more than this square of paper to go around that circle. We'll find out. But it's 1 inch across so that the hat will stand 1 inch tall. So that's kind of the band of the hat. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these guys out. This one I think I can just go straight across because I marked it. There's the hat, and then we'll do these circles here, and then I'll cut out the other one. With the hat, you don't necessarily need to use hot glue for it. You could even use, frankly, you could just use a glue stick. I'm going to use hot glue because I think it'll stick it faster for the sake of the camera. But at home, you don't have to use hot glue for this. It'll probably kind of make it a little bit stringy, and that's okay. But if you don't want to have to deal with too many hot glue strings, then go ahead and just use a glue stick or white glue or tacky glue, which would probably be the best thing. If you had tacky glue at home, you could pretty much do the entire project with tacky. Just make sure you hold everything together. Tacky glue is fantastic for sticking fabric pieces to fabric pieces. So we need to make a circle, and the circle needs to be of a similar size to the top of the hat. So if we're looking here, I'll just hold this together. The hat is a little bit bigger, so we probably are going to need to use 2 pieces. So they'll be overlapping, which is fine because they will be much stiffer that way. But you need to start by doing the band first. So I'm going to go ahead and stick these two together. Why do we do the band first? Because if we don't do the band first, there's nothing for the top of the hat to stick to, and it'll just kind of flop out in the middle of nowhere, and we don't want that. So now we've got a longer piece, and we can curve it around itself until we see what size we need. And don't worry about that, we'll glue that back down later. I'm not worried too much about him at the moment. It's just not dry. Hopefully all of you guys are safe and warm wherever you are watching me from today. The wind here in southern Colorado is pretty extreme. It's kind of crazy. My mom's trampoline totally blew away today. My son will be devastated. He loves that thing. But it's not the first time our trampolines have blown away. It's hard to have a trampoline in Colorado. All right, just a little bit tighter. I think right there will do it. Let's see. Ta-da! Perfect. So, right where my thumb is, I'm gonna put my glue. Ah, my glue stick flew away. Hold on here. Need that to help press it down. There's the glue. Curl it back up. And stick him. Careful when you do this that you don't burn yourself, like I am really trying my hardest to do, apparently, right now. But once this is stuck together, you'll have that nice cylinder shape that you need, and then we can stick the top of the hat to it. And I'm going to pull away all these little stringy bits. It would be most helpful if you had one long piece of paper and you didn't have to put two together. But that's just the size of the sparkly paper that I happen to have here at the Makerspace, and so that's what I'm working with. I'm a big fan of working with what you got. These are actually leftovers from a couple of kits from our presenter Shannon, who does our stamping kits, and I don't want them to go to waste, and nobody's picked them up, so we're using them for this particular thing. So here we go. Now I'm going to put the top onto the bottom of the hat, or sorry, the top onto the brim of the hat. That's not even a brim. What is this, the band? I don't know hat terms. Anyway, we're gonna do that. So I'll just run myself a little line of glue around the edges of this. We're just gonna stick it right on the top there. And we're going to let that do that there. And there we go. So there's the tippity top of the hat. And to finish it off, we're just going to turn it over and glue it on that guy. So we'll put the glue kind of on the edge of this little fellow here. The band, I'm calling it the band. I don't know if it's the band. Anybody a milliner? Somebody should correct me on whatever term I need to use here. And just pop it right on there, like that. So now we have a top hat for our snowman. And we'll kind of put this over to the side because we're not actually finished with it yet. We have one more thing to do before it's completely finished, but we want it to cool off. And we'll start on our snowman. So this one's pretty straightforward. We're gonna glue the body to the head. Takes a lot of glue to do this part if you're using hot glue. If you're using tacky, you'll use a good amount of glue, but you're gonna have to hold it together for a while. Unfun, but there it is. Okay, so here we go. Those guys are together. And then I think we'll go ahead and put our buttons on. And make sure I still have my two little eye dots because those things are gonna get away from me if I'm not careful. So hot glue for my button and hot glue for my other button. The only little tiny buttons I had like this here in the Makerspace were pink. It'd probably be more aesthetically pleasing if I had brown buttons, or black ones, but I don't. I just have pink, so it's gonna be pink buttons. Okay. And we'll need to cut out of our cardstock nose for our snowman. And what I'm gonna do to do that is I'm just gonna go corner to corner so that we get a little triangle, and then about part of the way down, I'm gonna curve it. Ta-da! Just like that. Here's our nose. It's a pretty easy cutting thing. It's not gonna stick out. We're just gonna put it on sort of like that. Use our hot glue for that. Again, you can use tacky if you want. It would probably be a little bit easier and you don't have to worry too much. My glue guns are high heat glue guns, so they're staying warm a lot longer than I'm excited about. But then I have these two little eye dots, and I'm not sure how sticky they're gonna be. So we'll see if they stick on their own or if I need to glue them. I think they're gonna be fine on their own though. I feel like this guy's nose is going off into Never Never Land there. All right, here we go, other eye dot. He's looking a lot like the snowman I actually make, which is to say that his eyes are not straight. But here we go. So there's his eyes. And then we're going to take our ribbon, wrap it around him, tie it, and then we're going to glue it in place, just so that it doesn't go anywhere. You can tie it in a knot, you can tie it in a bow. You could throw it over your shoulder if you wanted. I'm going to tie this in a double knot, I think. I kind of like the ends going off into nowhere land there. So there's the strings of the snowman. Honestly, I think I have it down tight enough. I'm not gonna glue it. All right, so here he is. Stick him over there. Now we're gonna come back to this guy and do the very last thing we need to do before we attach hat to snowman. Here. This is where we're gonna use the embroidery floss and the needle. And we don't need a whole lot of embroidery floss. I'm going to only give myself about a foot. And let's see if I can thread this needle on the first try. Haha, I did it this time. Cool. All right. So all I'm going to do is make a knot at the end. My trusty knot my mom taught me how to make when I was a kid. And I'm going to poke through the middle of this guy and the middle of, oh, make sure I got it in the middle because otherwise it's going to hang wonky, of the hat. And I'm going to try to just go right back through the hole I made. You guys can see here, do you see the hole in the top? I'm going to go right back through it, and you can use any color of embroidery floss that you want, really, truly. Come out the bottom, and what I'm going to do is tie the two ends together. Hopefully. There it is. Okay. Extend that a little ways, pull that out, and then there are these two ends here, and I'm going to, apparently I looped one together already. That was interesting. So tie them together right there, snip that off, and add another little dot of glue to hold it together. You don't want it going anywhere. Actually, I'm going to give it a lot of glue because I'm going to stick this onto the snowman's head now. So there's the string. This is going onto my friend's head. Just like that. Hold it in. And there we go. So now you've got a snowman ornament. This would be a lot of fun, I think, to just make real quick, obviously. It took me 15 minutes to put this together with narration. And the hardest part was making the hat. So there you go, little snowman guy. You can put him on your Christmas tree or your holiday tree, or you could just do a little winter celebration or add it to a gift for somebody that you care about. I hope you guys make one. If you make one, send me a picture, show it to me. Hopefully you guys have got the stuff at your house. And until next time, and when I get to see you, stay safe, stay healthy, and keep making. And have a great night, guys. Bye.